It is raining outside, so I don't know how this is going to sound. I mean, I can hear the rain falling, and I'm sure maybe you can probably hear something, but we'll see how it sounds when I'm done. But I'm thinking about what exactly I'm going to. I don't know why I think about the title when I start the video. I'm not entirely sure. I can always title it after I'm done with the video. But at least want to know what I'm talking about, or have some kind of solid idea. But I was thinking earlier about effort. And what I think of as the effort of being a man, right? Which wasn't really something that I thought about until I started to see myself as a woman, like when I started putting on, a wig. Now that I have boobs. Uh, and then of course women's clothing, makeup, stuff like that. And started seeing someone who looks like a woman, right? Maybe I don't pass. People might, if you're watching this, you might think, yeah, you don't look, you look like a man with a wig and with boobs. But I still look more like a woman than I did before. So that's what I mean by looking like a woman. I don't mean that I pass. I just mean that I... Can I get a different light? How about that? That I resemble a woman. I'll put it that way. More than I did. And it's enough to have this kind of mental shift where I can start to actually imagine like having a woman's life, like in ways that I didn't before. Like in the past, if I imagined myself being with a man, I was always a man in my imagination. And in any case, I don't want to get into that, but because I don't want to get too far off the subject here. So, but what happens a lot of times when I see myself look like a woman or resemble a woman is I have this feeling of relaxation. Like I don't need to try to be a woman. There's no effort. It's effortless. It's like it's like I don't I it's there's no I don't have to involve myself in kind of like this constant kind of like, what do I need to do to prove myself, or things like that. Now I don't know. I have talked in videos before about how society values men and women, and I have talked about how, for example, some women transition to live as men, especially young women, like late teens, early 20s. Transition to live as young men, boys, men, however you want to put it, because a lot of times they're motivated by society's values systems about women, right? That they don't like their value being determined by how they look. And they look at men and see that men, for one, are kind of inherently more valued, right? They have a higher value just by being men. I hate to put it that way, but that's how they see it. That's how I see it. When I was going through this, I saw living as a woman as like taking a step down. But also that a man is valued by what he accomplishes, right? So that he doesn't need to be beautiful. Like Elon Musk he's not a great looking man Bill Gates is not a great looking man. Jeff Bezos is not a great looking man. Warren Buffett is not a great looking man. But they have high value because of what they've accomplished, right? Even if it's just to become rich, right? Like Warren Buffett just became super wealthy, and now, people go to him for financial advice and that sort of thing. So, I mean, I don't remember exactly how he got wealthy. I believe it was from his investment in Coca-Cola. I know he has a lot of stocks, but I believe that he was in the very beginning that he attained most of his wealth through his investments in Coca-Cola. He just kept pouring money into Coca-Cola. I could be wrong about that, but it wasn't like he had some super genius plan. He and Charlie Munger are really good at investing, at picking companies to invest in and that sort of thing. But there's nothing really like, maybe if you want financial advice on how to invest in the stock market, he's a good person to talk to. Anyways, but what I'm getting at is that it is more what he accomplished that gives him his value. It's not, that he was born with really great breasts, or that he has nice cheekbones, or big pouty lips. So he doesn't need the physical features to have his value. And I think for me, it might be a little bit of the opposite for me, where a woman might see the idea of living as a man appealing, because if they want value, they can just work for it. It doesn't matter what features they were born with. You can attain value just by, putting forth the efforts. So now I do that because I don't want to confuse it with the effort I was talking about in the very beginning, because I'm not sure that they're the same. But but that is but I do mention it for that reason, because it could be related. But that is kind of how I see being a man. For me, anyways, is that it's just effort. It's like constant work. Then that could be just the whole thing of not feeling like I don't have value. Feeling like I don't have value because I never accomplished anything. I didn't become a great painter. I don't own my own business. I did happen to be born with nice features. I got nice cheekbones. I like my eyes. My lips are, they're okay. My boobs are not bad for a man. Yeah. Oh, I'm not wearing any pants, so I have to be careful where I point the camera. So I do wonder sometimes if that, had I been born ugly, would I be doing the trans thing, right? Because if my ultimate goal is just to be valued by society, and if I can do that just by having been granted nice features by my genes, then that certainly seems to require less effort. But I'm not entirely sure that's what it is. For me, just the growing up, hearing things like a father needs to teach his sons how to be men, or he needs to act like a man, kind of gave me this idea that being a man was essentially being an actor, right? That there was like this movie character that, maybe just from watching movies, I don't know, that this image that had kind of, you know, taking in several images and homogenizing them into one image of what a real man is, that then men had to live up to that essentially you have to become an actor and act like that, act out that role that has been formed in your mind, either from your father teaching you what a real man is, or just from watching movies or other men, in your environment. So this is how a real man acts. So this is how I have to act. Where what I'm talking about is in some ways the opposite of that, where it's not just the effort, but it's also the whole thing of just not being an actor, right? Where when I see myself as a woman, it feels more genuine. It feels more like, I'm not having to play a role. So that is, it's for that sort of thing where I feel like the effortlessness. That's what that is. The whole thing of it being effortless is just a sign of it being more genuine. That this is, I'm getting closer to the real me because I don't have to hold up this facade. But yet I still have these demons, or I don't, this voice in my head. Maybe you put it in that, or whatever you want to call it. This thing that kind of pulls me back and says, no, 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 no. That's not the real you. You're just running away from the real you. The real you is the man, and you just never really tried to be a man. You didn't really. You were putting forth an effort, but your effort was half-assed. You put this half-assed effort at being a man because you were just scared. You didn't want to do things like get in fights. You needed to get in more fights and express your anger and work harder to become the alpha male. When you're at work, like you need to be working to become the boss, show everyone who's the boss. You would have felt more like a man if you'd done that. And these are the sorts of things that I tell myself. I said it's a voice, but it's it's my head, right? And so this is, I have these moments where I can't tell if I'm running towards myself or running away from myself. If there is one kind of argument against that voice that says, no, you're just running away from your responsibility. You as a man, you have this responsibility to act like a man. You have to put forth the effort. You have to go get in fights. You have to go, you have to challenge other men and that sort of thing. And, like the animals do, right? You ever watch like the National Geographic and you see how the men are constantly, the males of the species, whatever species it is, it almost doesn't even matter, does it? They're constantly butting heads or grappling with each other, or whatever it is that they do to assert their superiority. that was never me. I never was like that. I never felt the need to challenge other people. I might argue with people, uh, but it wasn't in the sense of I'm trying to beat you, or it wasn't like I would attack people to try to say I'm the boss here. I was never like that, and you know, there in some sense, for me, there was that question of, can you not do that and still be a man? Like, does being a man mean that you have to do these things, that you have to be the king of the hill, or you at least have to try? You have to put forth the effort to be the king of the mountain, and if you don't, then uh, you're just not a man. Uh, so yeah, that is one of that was kind of the one of the questions also for me, was not just like uh, it was kind of like, am I a woman or am I just not a man, right? Uh, if that makes sense. An emasculated man, a beta male. Some people call it beta, even though beta means second. It doesn't mean whatever people use it to mean. I'm not sure exactly what they mean by it. But in social hierarchies, the alpha is the one at the top. The beta is the second, but is usually a rival to the alpha, right? So it does happen sometimes in social animal social groups, like with wolves, where the beta will attack the alpha and defeat him. So when people say beta male, I think they don't necessarily know what they're talking about. But and once the beta defeats the alpha, he becomes the new alpha, right? That's kind of how that goes. Uh, it doesn't. It's not a personality type. But I don't know. I don't know. Uh, but the thing of confrontation is one of the things that makes me question the whole gender thing, because I have been someone who avoids confrontation, and I feel like sometimes when I see myself as a woman, I want to see myself as a woman because of this whole thing of seeing women as non-confrontational. And I'm not going to say that women don't have confrontations or that they avoid confrontations. That's not what I mean, but I see it more as just kind of a peaceful kind of like hugs and kisses more than fighting and that sort of thing. And this is also one of those things where there's that little demon that says you're just being a sissy, you're just being you're just avoiding confrontation. You're not. I mean, this talk has not gone at all the way I expected. But yeah, the effort. Uh, I would. I may have to come up with a list of things that make me think that I'm trans. So one of them is the sexual aspect of it, seeing how my penis responds to me seeing myself look like a woman. one is the relaxation that I feel, and then the other one, I guess the relaxation also is what I'm talking about. This feeling of just effortlessness, this feeling that I don't have to try, I don't have to act, I don't have to put forth any effort to just be myself. When I see myself look like a woman, right? I feel like just being a woman is, there's no I don't want to say there's no challenge. There might be challenges to being a woman, but for me, I just see it as like water going downhill. Whereas with being a man, it's like trying to climb up the hill. When gravity's pulling you back down this way. Uh, uh, yeah, so if it's not clear, I'm not sure exactly what to make of that. Like I said, it could be that it is just the whole thing of value, right? That society values men by what they accomplish, and if I am just don't feel like putting forth the effort to accomplish something, then perhaps the way to do it is just to live as a woman, because women don't need to accomplish things to be valued, right? They just have to be pretty. So, if I can be pretty, then my work is done. It could be that. I'm not sure that it is that. I'm not entirely sure what it is. I'm not entirely sure that it is just me being more genuine. Yeah, though I would say that there is a part of me that doesn't want to believe that too. There's a part of me that still does not want to be trans, right? Though I will also throw out that this is one of the things that is mentioned in religions, right? That surrendering, non-active action, uh, not straining, not striving, just letting go, you know. I'm looking at myself in the mirror. All right. Bye.